This is Ace with RockRevolt. I'm here with Dez Fafara of DevilDriver. What's going on today, man?
Kicking back, getting ready for this tour.
Right? Yeah, you guys got a lot of things going on this year, man. Picking up right where 2016 left off. You guys are just, just a steamroller, just going, man. You ain't going to stop.
No, it's unbelievable, though, man. We're coming off a very popular record. I mean, who would have thought that, well, I did. I thought that. I mean, it was the highest debuting record that we had. I mean, number 16 in the top 40 with no active rock song, and that's a massive, massive win for everything heavy. And we've done some touring on this one, and we're getting ready to really put down the hammer this year. I mean, we're opening up new barriers, going to places we haven't been. I mean, we're getting ready to go on this cruise. This is the 10 tons of metal thing. We've never done one of these boats. We're really excited about that. We come right off into this tour, going through the United States with Death Angel, The Agonist, Winds of Plague, and Azrael. I think that's going to be fantastic. We're running a bunch of cool stuff, man, like meet and greet stuff where you can come and hang out with us, as well as like roadie for a day where you can come work and hang out for 12 hours with everybody. I mean, on the bus, backstage, everything. But we're breaking open a bunch of new grounds. We're going to South Africa, heading back to Japan, getting some Asian stuff back in there as well. I mean, I know we're definitely going to try to head over to the Philippines, et cetera, this year. So it's just going to be an interesting year,
Absolutely. Like you said, you're going to go on this 70 tons of metal cruise. What do you expect? You said it's your first one. What are you expecting out there, man? What are you looking forward to on that?
Well, I mean, look, I'm a real, anybody who knows me knows I'm a really private person. Extremely to myself. A hermit would be, an easy word for it, right? And so putting myself out of the comfort zone started when we started doing meet and greets with us, and then all of a sudden now you're in a room full of people, and I'm the guy. If I get a room full of more than 5 people, I jet immediately. And so we started doing these meet and greets, and I was like, man, this is like the best part of my day, sitting with 5, 10, 20 people, hanging out for 45 minutes, talking, music. I was like, these are becoming the best part of my day. And so when the boat thing came around, I was like, well, what's this about? It's like, well, you got to eat. Everywhere you go, there's somebody, right? Unless you're in your room. I was like, okay, you know what? This is my next foray into getting out of my comfort zone. I was like, let's go do one of these boats. And 10 Ton was going out. They made us a decent offer. And I saw the lineup, and it was just like and everybody from that cruise, to the crew that's been talking to us, the people that send us emails for the different press or what we're doing has been all so professional and so cool, actually. Getting emails to people like, I've worked on this boat for X amount of years, and, we've been waiting for you this whole time. I cannot wait. It's just, it's going to be really fun. It's going to be a good time. Plus, I'm taking the wife, so.
Right on. Have you ever done a cruise or anything like that before? Just like personally? Yeah.
No, I'm not that cat, man. It's like, I don't go on vacations, man, either, because I'm gone so much, but when I'm home, it's like, I want to be here with my 4 rescue cats, my rescue Great Dane, and I want to be kicking on the couch in front of the fireplace smoking a fat joint. It's like, I don't want to be boarding a plane to go to some hotel room. I mean, it could be fucking, 5-star, and I'm like, God, fucking, I just want to be at home.
It feels like work. Vacation would almost feel like work to you. I get it. Absolutely.
Yeah, and my wife says all the time, well, aren't we going to vacation? I'm like, tell me a place you haven't been.
Yeah.
And she'll lay it down. Well, I've never been here. I'm like, okay, you're coming this year.
Right.
I'm taking her to South Africa with me. I'm taking her on the boat. It's like, cool, let's get it out now. Like, the last thing I want to do is get on a plane and, I mean, it's rough when your wife's like, let's go to Hawaii. And I'm like, oh, man, like, a fucking hotel room. Like, the beach is right here. Like, let's just get in the car and get our boards and go sit down there and have a bonfire. It's like, that's not vacation. I go, no, because it doesn't come with a fucking $2,000 room service bill. Like, come on.
Right. You can order some pizza,
I
mean, if that...
Yeah, but, I come from a blue-collar background. My dad is a contractor. I was on the job site at 4 a.m. every fucking day since I was like 10. It's like, so I know what hard work is, and I fucking surely know how to chill like nobody else. I mean, the 10-ton thing came up, and I was like, let's go do that. That looks like a good time. And then the more and more I talked to musicians along the way, people who have done those kind of cruises, they were all saying the same thing to me. It's like, you're going to love this, man. And everybody's so cool, and, and I do, man. I love the metal community, man. When you sit around and you talk to artistic people who are into music, you'll find it's like most of them are the most artistic, caring, cool people, and I've really realized that. I mean, obviously I've been on tour for 25 years, so I've met a lot of people, but
Absolutely.
These meet and greets we started doing recently really kind of put me over the edge on that. I was like, man, look, let's get out there more. Let's do stuff like this more. And 10 Tons is the first thing we're doing like it. So I hope more come to fruition, and I hope that if me and you talk after this thing, that I can get back to you and be like, man, I had the greatest time of my life.
Oh, I'm definitely sure we can set something up. Absolutely. I'd love to know what that's like for you. Your first meet and greet, man, what was your anxiety level like? How did you feel, man? I know you had to just be on pins and needles that whole time.
But it's just a trip for me, man. You know, like a lot of people have said, people don't know this. You know, it's like I got a record deal back with Culture, and I didn't take it for like a year and a half because of this.
Right.
And like, you know, I've had people in my family go like, you know, aside from me, I love the road. I love being on a bus. I love the road. Like literally, I love the road. I love truck stops. I love the road. I love to be on stage. I love to be backstage with my bros. I love the whole crew environment. Like I love that. But my anxiety level when I went into my first meet and greet was like, well, what do you say? You know, it's like I'm not one of those dudes who walks like on my ego daily until I get the microphone in my hand.
Yeah.
So there are those singers that carry that thing around with them all the time. They're always that guy. I'm always this guy. It's like I'm not that guy. Like, you know, from about a half hour before stage in the back of my bus to hitting that stage, that's a totally separate guy that you're going to meet. That's a fucking dude who's, you know, that's a dude who's getting ready to go do it, right?
Yeah, you're on. You're gonna perform, man. That's what you do. Yeah, you're getting pumped.
You're gonna take that into a meet and greet with you. And so I just decided, like, fuck, man. Just like what I never have liked is like, you know, I'll meet heroes of mine, or I'll meet people that I respect, and there's nothing worse than walking away going, that guy's a fucking egotistical asshole that will give me 1 fucking second and just talked about himself. So for me, I was like, look, okay, I'm just going to be myself. And I started going in, and people would be just talking to me, and they're leading the conversation. You know, they're asking, hey, how you doing this thing? Did you guys eat today? What's going on? Where are you going tomorrow? I'm like, I started being really at ease. After about 5 minutes after the first meet and greet, I said to my tour manager, I said, dude, we got to start doing more of these. Like, because we had one day where there was like 55 kids, and we don't do them from behind a table, like you walk by, you shake my hand and leave. Like, we're actually on the floor kicking it with you, half hour, 40 minutes, whatever it takes to say hello and get out whatever you want to say to me and whatever I want to say to you. And I said to my tour manager, you got to start doing more of these. And we have, so they've been real cool, man.
That's awesome, man. That's great that opened you up, and you were just like, man, this, you know, like you said, it's great. It's one of the greatest parts of your day, man. That's Dude, pretty phenomenal.
I mean, it's like, I've been this way since I was a kid. You know, I was like, you know, if I was upstairs playing and Tommy was playing in my room when I was 8 years old, I was just like, you know, hey, Mom, Tommy said a cuss word. When Tommy did, just to get Tommy the fuck out of my room and get him off my Legos, you know?
Right.
You know what I mean? I never really took to, like, I never really, like, enjoyed hanging out, you know, with groups of people even when I was younger. So the music thing became a little, you know, like if somebody's like, we're going to a party for the Grammys, I'm like, what? Yeah, I'll watch that shit from my house, dog.
Exactly. Especially because the music sucks, but yeah, you know.
Well, you know what? I can't, I'm not that guy. Like, I'm not a purist. Like, I love music of all sorts, right? So this morning I woke up and listening to, like, you know, Revenge by Black Flag, and then we were right into listening to, you know, She's in Parties, you know. So it's like I listen to so much varied stuff that it's never like, oh, that sucks if it's not metal, you know?
Yeah, no,
never.
I get you. I mean, hell, I was raised on Neil Diamond and Patsy Cline, and they're still in my mix today, man. Love them. Yeah.
Dude, I listen to so much outlaw country, Willie Whalen, Cash. I mean, it's unbelievable. I just found this new band called Kavakon, Kavakon. They're like trippy, almost tiki like music, like stuff. Like, I listen to everything from blues to black metal.
Right, absolutely, yeah.
I think like and the thing is I'm not much of like a TV guy, so all day long I'm listening to music, and every, you know, everything has its moments, you know. Like, I mean, before I'm chilling out and going to bed, maybe I'm smoking a joint listening to Billie Holiday, you know. Maybe when I'm getting up and I'm listening, fucking having a cup of coffee, you know, maybe I'm listening to Superjoint or I'm listening to fucking Emperor, you know. Like, music has such a place in my life, so I'm never like, oh, it sucks, you know. I am a huge fan of pop music.
See, that's more what I was going along with the Grammys, yeah. The pop and the bro country, man.
Right, but check it, man. I love a fucking good song, right? So it's only when I'm watching, like, the CMAs and Beyonce gets up there, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And why is Hank 3 not fucking playing tonight on the CMAs? See what I'm saying? Like, where's the outlaw country?
Right.
And the same thing with pop. Like, where's the outsider art?
Yep.
It's not. It's becoming very just pop, formulated pop, and like. But hey, I dig a good song, you know, and that's that. I mean,
I definitely agree with you. Lyrical content is very important to me when I'm listening to music. You know, lyrical content drives the song. It can't be 15 words throughout the song and that's it. You know.
No, man, and it's why, like, and I constantly get in Twitter battles over this. It's amazing. It's the best part of my day. But I hate the early Beatles, man. Like, it's like, you know, She Loves Me, yeah. I'm like, get that fucking shit out of here. Like, I drew on the White Album of my dad's. He had the vinyl. My stepdad, you know, we didn't get along when I was younger. I ran away from home when I was 15 years old. Like, but I drew on that record, and I remember he beat my fucking ass so bad. From that day on, I was like, fuck the Beatles.
You know, I'm not the biggest fan of the Beatles myself. I always thought they were a little overrated.
But when they started wearing, like, fucking whatever, when they started, you know, being hippies and growing their hair and having beards, fucking taking LSD, that's when the music got interesting for me, you know. And when they separated, I thought the music got even better, to be honest with you. So,
it was when they said, fuck it, I'm not putting on this charade anymore. I'm going to play the music I want to. Yeah.
Exactly. You know, everybody as an artist goes through that. They all play, you know, something as they're coming up, and they're behind it, and they're loving it, and it's what brought them up. But then everybody kind of wants to make a change or kind of steps forward with evolution, and I think that's an important thing in music, man. Look, I mean, I think it's why DevilDriver is still going and is still completely relevant, and you know, and why our 7th record came out and debuted number 16. It's like, how the fuck do you chart the highest you've ever done? It's like, A, there's a movement behind us. B, we have evolution to our music. You know, we're definitely not just making the same record over and over, and I applaud that with other bands, like I applaud it within this unit. If you're going to step up and have evolution, but yeah, I've never been a huge pop fan. You know?
Right. Now you brought up Coal Chamber a little bit ago.
Yeah.
The styles are totally different. The performances are totally different. You have a totally different look between the two bands. How do you change yourself so much to do both bands? You know what I'm saying? Because they are almost opposite ends of the spectrum. Not music styles per se, but as far as performance styles.
Right. I mean, look, that's a natural thing. That has nothing to do with, like, how do I change? How do I put that suit on whatsoever? I mean, I come from you know, my background, for people who don't know, is like early punk rock, psychobilly, a lot of goth stuff, like Alien, Sex Fiend, Bauhaus, Love and Rockets. Like, I mean, I can go Specimen, you know, Susie and the Banshees. I mean, I can go on and on about Darkwave. And I think that couples with the fact that Meigs and I both loved heavy shit as well, and we're listening to stuff like, you know, whatever, early Sepultura or Fear Factory, and, you know, even early White Zombie at the time, before he even found his groove, like those early Soul Crusher records, stuff like that. You know, like, there's like a thing that just came together with us and made that dark thing happen. And what I did is I probably carried about, you know, instead of carrying 100% of that dark thing over into DevilDriver, I carried about 60% of that dark vibe into that band, but added a whole lot more groove and you know, players that obviously played more versatile and different. But right before you, I did an interview regarding Coal Chamber and DevilDriver, and this guy's like, look, you know, I've never read it, and, you know, people want to know, and I'm like, okay, what? Ask. You know, he's like, well, what made you leave Coal Chamber? Was it because you saw the new metal scene dying, you know, like you know, and you wanted to get on to something else. I was like, fuck no. And did it ever die?
No.
The biggest bands on the planet right now are fucking Korn, System of a Down, fucking, you know, Deftones, fucking Disturbed. I mean, hello, same era, same band. I said, no, what made me actually leave is the fact that the players didn't get along whatsoever. And I just wasn't going to live in a living hell anymore to go make music, because music is a beautiful thing to me. And that's really all I had on the road was on stage. And if the on-stage chemistry's not there, I'm out. Or if you're in my band in this case and the on-stage chemistry is not on, you're out. That's the way it is. It's got to be a good time on the road at all times. And I'm an easy guy to get along with as long as you do your job. But, you know, I think putting those two hats on is really what makes me. I couldn't see my life without Cold Chamber until I left.
Right.
And I can't see my life without DevilDriver until I actually took a little bit of time off to do Cold Chamber and missed the experience so bad that's part and parcel why this Trust No One record, like, you're feeling the fucking vibe on this. I mean, the band was feeling it. I was feeling it. So as far as, and those guys are really different, man. Like, the one, you know, like, on stage with Cold Chamber, I may have a big black fucking smudge across my eyes or whatever, but I mean, I'm just up there just pissed as usual.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, unfortunately, Cold Chamber, you know, has always been on the heavier end of that spectrum.
Right.
Like, didn't have, you know, mass radio appeal until we did, like, Shock the Monkey, and we eased it down a bit, you know, and made it more palatable, and boom, we had Shock the Monkey with Ozzy, and then, you know, but we were the heavier end of that spectrum. And I'm glad we still are. I mean, if you listen to the last record we released a couple of years ago, Rivals, dude, that record is going to hold up. You just trust me right now, 5 years from now, that record is going to hold up stronger than a lot of other stuff that you may be hearing from that era. So, yeah, I mean, I think everything you do along the way makes you know, but you got to have a good plan to go forward as well, and I definitely do. With DevilDriver, and we'll keep the evolution and keep people not necessarily guessing because we got our signature style, but definitely stepping it up on every record, man.
Absolutely. Now, that last tour you guys did with Skull Chamber was like 2014, I think, with American Head Charge, and I think Flaw was on that tour with you guys?
No. I mean, we went out with, we went out on, our last real tour together was like in 2002. Okay. But we just went out on Rivals, that came out and got released and didn't do too shabby after 12 years being gone. But we went out also with Seven Dust, which was amazing.
Yeah.
We used to take them out back in the day. And I love all those cats. Lashawn's like one of my favorite guys on the planet. Period. So, and all those shows were fucking sold out. But even better is to like go over to Europe, where we did like stadium shows with Black Sabbath back in the day, all through Europe. And then to go in and do festivals and have people go insane. I mean, the first two notes of Locos, like dare, like people went, like would lose their shit. So, Cold Chamber was always on the heavier end of that spectrum. It was a natural evolution for me to get into DevilDriver, and surrounded by a lot of the aggressive music that I was listening to when I was younger, and also, I mean, even now, I'm the guy. We could do a whole separate show right now on like bands I found a month ago that no one's going to hear from for probably a year.
Right.
Like my ears are so to the ground with music, and I think that's important, you know, and especially aggressive stuff. I find a lot of, like this band Azrael we're taking out. They're from Australia, you know, and somebody sent me a link, and I was like, this is a cool band. They got a cool fucking vibe. I was like, let's put them on.
Oh, yeah.
I'm into that too, man. Giving young bands a shot. I think it's important.
Absolutely. You got your shot. You're going to pass it along. One of the cool festivals you guys are doing this year is Chicago Open Air. It's damn near the closest thing that the States is going to get to anything in Europe, I feel. I was fortunate enough to be at the first one last year, and it was unbelievable. This year's lineup's unbelievable. What do you think about that festival and the lineup they're bringing together?
Dude, it's just like, come get down in Chi-Town.
Yeah.
That's going to be that show is going to be nuts. I remember when, it was last year when they gave us the offer for it, and I said, sure, I'll book whatever around this to make sure I'm going to do it. I mean, look at that fucking lineup. It's a pretty holy shit moment. If you guys, I'm not going to go over all the bands right now on this, but if you guys want to know, I mean, obviously go to that website and just see what's going on at Chicago Open Air. I mean, it's fucking incredible. And it was about 4 or 5 nights ago. I was kicking upstairs, and I got a text from King. And he's like, dude, we're playing together. So I was like, yeah, any day we're playing on the same day as Slayer is fucking good for me, you know?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I got to see Rammstein last year, so that made me happy. So I was pretty stoked about it.
If you ever get to talk to those guys and meet those guys, they're some of the nicest cats you'll ever meet, man. They're so cool. They're really down to earth. Yeah.
And
I'm fortunate to meet them.
That's all. And, and honestly, with a lot of with me doing this, and I get to talk to all kinds of great people, just like yourself, a lot of your guys, your big national guys are the nicest people in the world. It's your little local dudes that are just dicks.
Well, I mean, like there's a certain part of me that gets it, man. Like there's an attitude that has to be had when you're coming out of your city.
Okay.
And you're fighting amongst, how many other heavy bands. I mean, I can tell you an instance right now. It's like when Cold Chamber was first coming up, and we were fucking ruling L.A., the Sunset Strip. I mean, we would book a show at the Roxy, and it'd be sold out in one day. Book a show at the Whiskey, sold out in one day. And in comes Snot from Santa Barbara. Not from our crew, not from our town, not from nothing. And I remember outside the Roxy meeting Lynn Strait the first time I met him. I was like, go the fuck back to your town. Like, that's where the environment was. Like, because we would call up System of a Down, we're doing shows, let's book. We'd call up different bands, like, we're doing some shows, let's book. But everybody that was outside almost wasn't allowed in when it came to fucking L.A. because L.A. was a dead zone until all of us started fucking playing again.
Right.
So it's a trip. So I get it, but those people listening to me in younger bands, like just coming up with no record deal or whatever, I mean, you may want to listen to me. Be cool to the people you meet on the fucking way up. Because, dude, you're going to come down. And I'm fortunate enough, man, I've never burned a bridge. And any beefs I've had with anybody from any bands in the press, that's all been, if there was ever one or two in 25 years, that they're squashed immediately. So you got to be cool to people in this industry. It's a very small world. And if you're a young band, you're looking to get in it, like, you might want to be cool to people. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. No, absolutely. I get it. Well, man, I greatly appreciate your time, dude. Is there anything you want to say to the fans? Let them know what's happening. Just get the word out, man. Right now's your time.
Yeah, get out, man. Look, I mean, this might be our only time in the United States right now. We were thinking we were coming back in the fall time, but there's something coming up right now that may be coming in Europe. So this may be our only time DevilDriver out in the United States. So if we're coming near you, and you're listening to this, come on out to the shows. It's going to be killer. We've got Death Angel, The Agonist, Winds of Plague, and Azrael. It's going to be great. And as usual, if you guys want to keep in touch with me, man, go to Twitter. I'm at Evil River. It's like DevilDriver without the D's. And on Instagram, I'm at Dez Fafara. And I talk to you guys all the time. And if I'm a private person, but if you want to check in my inner life, like check out my Instagram and you'll see photos of, whatever, my mandatory day, my dog and blah, blah, blah. But keep in touch and looking forward to seeing everybody out the shows, man.
Right on, man. Well, you know what? If we can, man, I'd definitely like to talk to you when you get done with that cruise. I'd like to know how that experience went for you, man. So let's see if we can set that up.
Yeah, you can set that up with Maria, man. It's all good. I'm always around, man. I appreciate the support. There's been a lot of people coming around just like throwing so much support within the industry to DevilDriver right now. I mean, everybody from, with podcasts or even other bands are just like sending us offers daily and stuff. It's really fucking cool to see everybody coming to the table, man. And so I thank you very much for your support and all your listeners, and thank you for your time.
Not a problem, man. Anytime. Thank you, sir.